Hi everybody, welcome to another postcard from the edge, and a few more developments. This week I got back from my lightning dash up to the Hebrides, as you know, to look at the property that we really love, that try not to love because I don't think we've got any chance of getting it. As I explained before, that's because a house has only just gone on the market this week. And that's really what this update is about. We had, when I got back, we had the photography here from our agent, and the drone photography guy, and the guy who does all the what they call Matterport photography, which is the does all the room measurements and the guided tour around your house where people can sort of click and move around the house and everything, which I think is a really good idea. It's like you pay a bit more for that. It's like an enhanced package, but what it enables people to do is to move around your house and get a feel for it. I think it reduces the number of viewings you get because people can get a good feel for your property and they know whether they need to view it or not. So I see that as a good thing. So I think the viewings you get are probably people who are really interested in the property. The for sale board went up outside. I know some people don't like having for sale boards up outside, kind of tips the neighbours off. But in our case, we got a viewing from the for sale board before the property went on to Rightmove and Zoopla, on the market.com, the usual apps and websites. So that was really encouraging, and the guy who saw it is very, very keen. So that was very optimistic for us. So that happened the day before the house really technically went live. And what I'd say about that as well is you kind of, because you're showing people around your house, you kind of need to get used to what to say and the best route around your house, where to take people first, where to show them, what to say in each room. At least I did. I suppose this is where trying to give you a bit of help. You need to have a bit of patter, or some things to say in each room, to highlight all the good things about the rooms, this is dual aspect, the light comes in. People like to know, where does the sun rise? Where does the sun set? Where are the power points, etc., etc. All the things about each room that are good. What things are you leaving behind? Are you going to charge for them? Do you want to negotiate on things? Are you leaving the curtains, the blinds, the light fittings? And you need to have the answers to those questions. So those early viewings are really important, because all of a sudden you realise what you don't know or what you haven't thought about. Is it a good idea to switch lights on before people come? Is it good to switch them on when they're there so that things brighten up all of a sudden? Or does that show that the room was maybe a little bit on the dark side, and it kind of highlights that? Where's a good place for you to stand in the room when you're doing the talking so that they get a good view of the room? Is it good to have the doors open, or have them closed, and then you open the door and reveal the room? All these kind of things, because hopefully, I'm hoping that you've already thought through the staging of your house and really tidying it up, not having it as you really live. Let's be honest. Most people nowadays understand the value in staging your house and creating a kind of a vision of the potential of the home, as to, this is the lifestyle you can have in this house if it was your home. And that is not real life. Let's be honest. We tidy our homes up a bit, and we clear away some of the clutter, and we give the best impression we possibly can of it. And I don't think that's being deceptive. I think that is just showing it off to its very best, to get to say, this is the best possible version of this place. And I think everybody understands that we don't all live with a vase of flowers in every room or whatever. I'm not saying that we all bake bread and have coffee roasting when people arrive. I think that's a bit of a cliche. We certainly haven't been doing that, but yeah, we bought some fresh flowers and we made sure the fruit in the bowls was fresh, and we tidied some stuff away that we would normally have out, just because of convenience, but for us in our day-to-day lives. But it looks a lot tidier if it's put away just for the viewings and so on. And in our case, we found it best if Elizabeth took Eddie out for a walk when people came, because Eddie wants to be the star of the show. He is the star of the show, let's be honest. But the viewers might not be dog lovers, and the viewers really want to focus on the house. They don't want to focus on Eddie. And so we took the decision that we'd get Elizabeth to take him out for a walk, and I'd do the showing. My background going back many years is in sales and so on, so I'm quite used to talking to people and dealing with questions and handling things. And I was always brought up to be a salesman, as an honest salesman, not someone who was a deceptive salesman or a pushy salesman, but as someone who my way of selling is to find out what a person wants, and then to work out whether what I was selling actually was what they needed. I wasn't interested in trying to sell somebody something just for the sake of selling it. I never worked on commission, and I was interested in marrying up the person to the product and making it work for them. And I feel the same about the house. There's no point in anybody buying my house, the biggest purchase of their life, if this is not the ideal property for them. And so, in those first few minutes when somebody comes to the house, I'm actually asking them about them, what their circumstances are, what they're looking for, and then I can work out what about the house is going to suit them, and maybe point out some of the things that they need to think about, because equally it's no point in them putting a bid in on the house and then when they come back for the second viewing, or maybe then halfway through the process, realizing that actually this house is not going to work for them, and then them withdrawing. It's completely pointless for me, it's completely pointless for them. It wastes everybody's time and money. The house has got to fit, it's got to work, and I wouldn't want somebody to hide things from me or to build up a picture to me with the house I'm going for. I want to know all about it, and so give thought to that before they come. Give thought to every room, give thought to what needs to be done, be open and honest about things. I'm not talking about painting a black picture, but equally, if something's not working right, be honest about it and tell them. Tell them about things you're going to fix before they buy it, things that maybe they're going to have to maybe think about sorting out, and so on. But hopefully, your place is pretty decent, and you look after it, and it's not going to be too bad. But anyway, so I found that first viewing was really good, actually. The guy was a plumber, so he was in the building trade, and so he was looking at the house very intensely, and he was measuring the rooms, and he was really quizzing me about the property, and I really loved that because it made me think seriously about what viewers to the property would be looking at. He wanted to know about, where does the sun rise, where do the shadows fall in the garden, when the sun sets, how much sun is on the deck, and so on and so on. And that was really good because there were some things I hadn't thought of. I thought I'd really thought it through, but there were some things he came up with, and that has helped me with subsequent viewings. Maybe think about doing a dummy run, get your partner or a member of your family to come round and then do a viewing with them and talk them around, and it really helps to do a dry run with somebody and talk them through it, so that you're not stumbling and fumbling and you haven't got the answers that they need. If your appliances are AAA rated, well, know that so that you can tell people that, because if you're leaving the washing machine and it is very energy efficient and it doesn't use much water, and you've got a water meter, well, that's a really good selling point. So tell them that. If you've got loads of insulation in your loft, know that and tell them that, so that they know that has been sorted out for them. If you've got power in the loft and lights in the loft, know about it and make sure you let them know about it. Really tell them everything that is going to be advantageous to them, in buying it, because it's helpful to them, and it's going to help you sell your property. Equally, if there are some things that they need to know about that they need to take into consideration, make sure you mention it, because you're going to have to do a declaration form when you go through the due diligence in the selling process if they bid and they buy it. And you're going to have to reveal everything. That is a legal requirement in England, and only rightly so. And the person selling to you will do the same for you. And we need to be upfront about these things, and that's only right and proper. And I like that system, so that there are no nasty shocks when you move into the property, hopefully, which is great. Okay, so yeah, we had this guy come in from the for sale board. That was brilliant. Then the property went live the following morning, and within a couple of hours we had 2 or 3 more viewings booked in. Like, wow, that's fantastic. So there was another viewing booked in the next day, and then there was a viewing booked in for the day after that, and the day after that. So that was really brilliant. It was very positive. And it's quite a relief that there are some people out there who want to view your house. And it kind of got the wheels in motion, and the agent was very pleased that was the way it was going, and obviously we were very pleased. And so another family came round that afternoon, and they were the first ones to come round as a in view of the product going, the house actually going live on the apps and so on, and. Now, I'd learned a lot from that first viewing, so that went well. They spent nearly an hour here, and we had a really good conversation. But I got the feeling that there were some issues. They had 5 vehicles, and we haven't got space to park 5 vehicles at our house. And so I thought that's the kind of thing that is a deal breaker for somebody. And I offered them some solutions, but I don't think they were workable. And as it turned out, yeah, it wasn't going to work for them, which is fair enough, isn't it? The house has got to match what a person's needs are. And then the following day, a family came round, a really lovely family, 2 young children, and had a viewing, and it went really well. Remarkably well. The couple, I'd only got them into the kitchen, which is like kind of the first room that we go into from our front door, really. And the guy started to talk to me and have a serious conversation with me about what our situation was and what their situation was, which is like the kind of conversation you have with somebody when it's like, so are we going to do a deal on this? And, even though, with my salesman's head on, that's the kind of conversation I like to have with somebody. I like to talk frankly and everything. And I was kind of having to say to him, look, hold on a second, sir. This is the first room. Do you not think you want to see the rest of the house before we start talking like this? But he wanted to get a few things clear about his position and our position and so on. And I was getting signals from him, and I could see the way his wife was looking, that I think she was kind of sort of saying to him, this is the one. As a salesman, I'm kind of tuned into that kind of thing. And the conversation was getting very serious very quickly. And I was kind of sort of having to take some of the heat out and say, let me show you around. And then once I've shown you around, then you just walk around on your own, take as long as you like. I'm very relaxed about all this kind of thing. We had a long tour around. They had loads of questions. I was showing them that, but they really liked the place, and that was really great. It's very encouraging, obviously, for you as the seller to see somebody loving the place that you love, and you've invested a lot of time, money, and a lot of yourself into making it how you love it and how you want it to be and everything. And I could see that it was a very good fit for them, so I was sort of very optimistic, and then let them have a good look round and everything, and said to them, look, come back anytime and what have you. And after they'd gone, I said to Elizabeth, wow, that went well. I'm very positive about that. Wouldn't surprise me if we get a call tomorrow morning from the agent saying they want to come back and have another look. And they only live, they walked around from their house. They literally live a street away from us. and they're sort of wanting a bigger family home and a slight location change and moving from a semi-detached house to a detached house and so on. Don't want to bore you with all the details, but Elizabeth and I have just finished having our evening meal and there's a knock on the front door. Who's that this time? And it's the husband has come back to make an offer on the house. It's like, okay. Yeah, they just made that decision. They'd gone away, completely blown away, and so serious about it, they really didn't want to lose it. And I think they felt that, because we had so many people booked in already to view, and I think they got the feeling because they'd looked at so many houses that, this was of a standard maybe, or, that there was going to be competition, and they really didn't want to lose it and wanted to make an offer. And so I just said, look, you've got to put the offer into the agent, but so delighted that you're pleased. Obviously, we've got to have a conversation about it. The great thing about them is they had sold their house that day, and their buyer is a first-time buyer. So we're talking about a very, very short chain, which is very good for a house of our size and our kind of price range. And so for us, brilliant. But the following day, we knew that the lady and gentleman coming to see the property were cash buyers. They didn't have a property to sell. Whether they need a mortgage or not, I don't know. But that they weren't in the chain, and they didn't have to sell a property. And I kind of had this in the back of my head, so I didn't want to kind of commit to him. So I was in a bit of a difficult position, stood talking to him that evening. So I wanted him to talk to the agents. My mind kind of racing and not wanting to put him off, but also wanted to keep options open. Very difficult kind of situation. Anyway, so we went to bed very kind of positive, very excited, and also wondering sort of how things would pan out. Anyway, the agent called us and told us. He literally must have rung the agent bang on 9 o'clock when they opened, put in the offer. The agent said, the offer, what do you want to do? And we said, well, we've got Mr. and Mrs. X coming in less than an hour's time, and they don't need to sell anything. That's the only thing we've got in our heads. And while we're happy with the offer, we wouldn't be saying no to them because of the offer. It would only be a case of, this other couple would not have to sell a property. It would be even faster for us. And now I'm starting to think, is there a possibility with the property that we love in Scotland? The only issue being, it's the day that bids close. So I'm talking about the morning that the bids have to close on that property. So at this point, it's 9:30 on the morning when bids close at 12 o'clock on the property we like. We've got a bid, but there's a small chain. We've got somebody coming in less than an hour's time who doesn't need to sell a property, but we don't know if they're going to like it or not. What do we do? And so I said to the agent, don't ring them back. Don't say yay or nay. Just let us have this second viewing and let's just gauge how this other couple feel about the property. The chances of making an offer there and then is almost zero kind of thing, but maybe I'll get a gut feel from them. And I put the phone down and then I looked at Elizabeth and I thought, what am I doing? You absolute fool, Chinnery. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. You've got a firm offer on your house with a very small chain and you've got 2.5 hours. You have got the smallest window to get an offer in on the property that we've dreamt about and that we thought we had no chance to even put a bid in. Still, with this situation, we've got a chain, but it's a very small chain. But nonetheless, we've got a firm offer. So we've got something that we can say to the people selling the house that we love up in the Hebrides. We've probably still got no chance of winning this property. Still probably not got a hope of getting it, but there's a chance. And I don't know, I'm an optimist in life. You know, I'm a glass half full, not a glass half empty kind of person. I said to Elizabeth, I think we should bring the agent back, cancel all the viewings, accept the offer, and let's go for broke. Let's try and get a solicitor with 2.5 hours to go. See if we can get, because we haven't got a solicitor yet in Scotland to put a bid in, and let's just see how it pans out. You know, let's just, just try. And then at least we know that if we lose it, it's not for the want of trying. There's nothing else we can do. And so that's what we did. We rung the agent straight back. She was delighted, obviously, because they get a sale. Boom, she said, that's fine, we'll cancel all the other appointments, don't have to worry about any more viewings. We'll tell our people and the buyers that they're in. They'll be absolutely delighted. And you can proceed, with putting your offer in and do whatever you've got to do. And so that's what we did. And so then I hit the phones. I got in touch with the agent in Scotland, let them know that that's what we were planning to do, and confirmed that it was a 12 o'clock deadline and that there's no wiggle room on that. You can't just, well, can you give us another hour or two, or would it be all right tomorrow, or would Monday be okay? It's got to be a fair level playing field for absolutely everybody. They will not budge on that. And so I got recommendations from the agent on solicitors, and I hit the phones, and 2 solicitors told me 2.5 hours. Are you joking? They did it with a Scottish accent. Are you joking? Absolutely not, Mr. Chinnery. We cannot do that. It's impossible to put an offer together in that time. That's just not done. You don't do that. But I don't give up. And so I called the 3rd number and give the young lady her due. She said, do you know, I think I can do it. And by this time, it was 45 minutes to go to the deadline. The ringing up of the other solicitors and then being in meetings and we'll call you back and can we do it, can't we do it, and all that had kind of started consuming time. And now I was in a very... And give her her due, she took some information from me, the barest minimum that she needed. She said, right now, leave me alone. And she said, I will get this done, and give her her due. About 35 minutes later, an email popped up in my in tray. Check this through, and it was the formal submission letter with all the details on, and it's quite a detailed thing that they submit. And I just speed read it. I wouldn't have agreed to anything at that stage. It had our offer and all our details and everything that has to be done. It's a legal format. I just said submit, and submit she did. And I found out subsequently from the agent, we submitted with 3 minutes to go. Oh my goodness, we could do no more. We put the very best bid in we possibly could, the highest, the most amount of money we could put in that, we felt that the house was possibly worth to us. Well above the valuation of the property, well above the asking price. And we stretched ourselves. But, if you love something, love a property, then, and with the sealed bid situation, that's what you've got to do. And then you have to wait, and you get the reply back through your solicitor. So if you want to know what happened, you'll have to wait till the next postcard from the edge. I suggest you like and subscribe.